Test power. Read the passage, the record setting popcorn string. As you read, stop and answer each question using text evidence. The record setting popcorn string. The whole idea began with a book that Chima had received for her birthday, Guinness World Records. Chima became absorbed in the facts and records involving nature, the universe, sports, and many other topics. She learned fascinating facts about the fastest roller coaster, the tallest horse, the deepest valley, the smallest bee, and the largest flea. Chima also discovered there were hundreds of unusual records set by people, such as the most cartwheels in 1 minute or the most kites flown at the same time. Chima could hardly believe that someone had actually run a mile in just over 7 minutes while balancing a baseball bat in one finger. She thought Guinness World Records was the most fascinating book she had seen in a long time. She was eager to share it with her two best friends, Mei Mei and Max. What is the narrator's point of view about Chima's book? Explain how this point of view is expressed in the passage. At first, Mei Mei and Max didn't think a bunch of world records would be very interesting, but Chima found something to appeal to each of them. She pointed Mei Mei to the section about nature and animals. Max, who loved sport, was amazed to read that the fastest record baseball pitch was clocked at 100.9 miles per hour. You are right, Chima. These world records really are fascinating, Max admitted. Chima and Mei began to consider records they might attempt to break. Chima suggests they could set a record for hopping the longest distance. Mei checked to see if there was a record for the tallest sand castle, thinking that perhaps they could build an even taller one. Then Chima came up with the perfect idea. She had often made strings of popcorn to hang from trees to feed the birds. Why not try to make the world's longest string of popcorn? Even Max agreed that this was something they might be able to accomplish and that would be fun too. For the remainder of the day, the friends mapped out a plan and bought the supplies they needed for the challenge. They finally parted, looking forward to setting a new world record and eventually seeing their names in the book. Over the next month, the three friends spent weekend mornings popping popcorn and long afternoon in Chima's garage stringing the popped kernels. The project was proving more challenging than they had anticipated. Mei Mei complained that the string was boring. Max said he had come to detest the smell of popcorn and planned never to eat it again. Chima had to admit that she agreed with both of them. How has Chima's attitude changed since the beginning of the passage? Finally, on Saturday afternoon, the friends realized they had finished stringing 5,280 feet of popcorn. Their popcorn string was a mile long. They had tracked the length of the string by recording how many spools of thread they used. They called their families to come and admire the impressive string of popcorn and to share in the proud moment. Everyone agreed that the world record was sure to be theirs. The next morning, Chima was awakened by strange noises coming from the garage. As she hurried to discover the source of the noise, she realized it sounded like birds awaking with a sinking feeling. Chima remembered how she had gotten the idea for the popcorn string in the first place. She tried to recall whether she had shut the garage door the night before, but she couldn't remember. What inference can you make about what may have happened? Identify information in the passage that you use to draw the inference. A flock of birds scattered when Chima walked through the open door of the garage. She gasped when she saw what the birds had done. All that remained of the fabulous record-setting popcorn string were long half-empty threads and kernels of popcorn strewn on the garage floor. Chima knew that she was the one who was responsible because she had forgotten to close the garage door. She wished with all her heart that she could somehow undo her mistake. She dreaded having to call Max and Maymay and tell them the bad news. When Max and Maymay arrived and saw the bits of popcorn and lengths of exposed string, they knew the possibility of setting a world record had ended. Chima apologized tearfully. "It was just an accident, Chima," said Maymay. Try to comfort her. "We forgive you, don't we, Max?" Max said yes, of course he forgave Chima. We reminded them about the time he had forgotten to latch the gate at Maymay's house. The three of them had to search all over the neighborhood before finding Maymay's puppy, Peanut. Losing Peanut would have been much worse than losing our popcorn string, Max pointed out. After a while, the friends began talking about the experience of trying to set a world record, although they were disappointed. They felt good that they had set a goal and had worked hard to achieve it. In their own minds, they knew they really had set a world record, even if their feat would never make it into the book. "I'm sure nobody else ever created a string of popcorn a whole mile long," Maymay said. The friends even talked about other records they could try to set. "But let's agree on one thing right now," said Chima. "Any record-setting challenge in the future, you not involve popcorn." What did the characters in this passage learn from their experience? Support your response with details from the text.